Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Where are you in the world?
I'm at home in Denniston. Uh, so yeah.
Everyone lives in. Did jazz musician of similar fame as yourselves previously live there, or is it a completely unjazzed
Well,
combination?
we musicians lived in this flat, which was cool.
Right.
But we didn't. I don't know them, but they used to practice and use this flat for music and stuff like that. And there's a cupboard in off from the living room that's like quite. It's quite small, but also a good size where you could just about get like a very small drum kit. And I was told that a whole album was recorded in that cupboard, uh, and the soundproofing up and everything. So that's cool. But I've not tried to get a drum kit in there, but maybe. But I can practice in this flat. We can both practice in this flat, which is really good. There's like a little coal cellar that's attached. That everyone's got like a little coal cellar sort of thing that can be used as storage. It's down a floor below us. We're ground floor, and I was like, oh, it's a wee bit bigger than that cupboard, but it's just about. I was like, that could make an amazing drum booth. So I thought about maybe just trying to soundproof it, and we got electricity down there, and I was sort of like doing some stuff, and then a neighbour kind of walked by, and she was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm going to soundproof it, just to kind of so that there's not so much noise." And she's like, "Why are you doing that?" I was like, I don't want to like be drumming all the time. I don't want to be too noisy. She's like, "Oh no, no!" Like there used to be a metal band upstairs, and there's bagpipers up above us.
Oh,
And she was just like, "Oh no, we love it. Like just keep going. It's fine. You don't need to do
wow.
that." And I was like, "Okay."
Um, yeah, when I was a student in first year uni, right at the end of the year,
Yeah.
I'd been playing music continuously in my room,
Uh-huh.
either on cassette or playing drums.
Yeah, yeah.
Right at the end of the year, I heard there was a brief moment with no music, and I heard the guy next door turning off his bedside lamp. I heard the, I heard the click of him turning off his
All right. Yeah,
bedside
just
lamp,
that.
and I kind of next day I said, "Look, man, I'm really sorry. I just realised how bad the
Yeah.
soundproofing is,
Yeah, yeah.
and I've been blasting you music." And he went, "No, I've really enjoyed it. I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So don't. If I would have said something if I'd
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
problem. It's a big
Um,
thing, isn't it? It's like it's sort of integrating into your community, and
yeah,
there's something about a lot of people love musicians and love
yeah.
music being around them, so they're genuinely positive towards.
It feels a lot more like that here than where we were. Again, it's just to do with the neighbours, but it does feel like it's more accepted. And there's so many musicians just on the street. Especially there's a lot of bagpipers for some reason. But like that was another thing when we first moved in. We were moving all our stuff in the first day. Obviously excited and everything, and then we heard the bagpipes upstairs, and I was a bit like, shit, man, like that is loud, like because it's Highland bagpipes, and I was just a bit worried because I was like, man, if they're playing the pipes all the time, but then obviously it gives you a bit more like,
Well,
okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
we can play, but actually they don't play that much, and we're probably playing. Well, we play way more than that, but like, yeah, they seem to be
I
fine.
think
I
it.
think as well, yeah, folk are out working during the day and stuff like that as well. I mean, you generally keep it to sort of social hours, but yeah, that
A
seems to
lot
be
of it
fine.
depends on your emotional relationship with the person making the noise. So, for example, my wife
Yeah,
hates the sound of my drumming, and it drives her
yeah,
crazy. Even if she hears a tiny bit of it, it drives her absolutely insane. She quite often texts me death threats, you
yeah,
know, and which I
yeah,
ignore because it's like my right as an artist to practice my craft, but it
yeah,
supersedes the threat. Although it's a real
yes,
threat. Um, I read. I've been reading this book recently by Paul Berliner called. It's this sort of academic book about jazz and improvisation, but he's talking about the way sort of networks and communities functioned in America and the Black American tradition in the 50s and 60s. So, like in Detroit, how Jackie McLean, when he was really young, like in his teens, Bud Powell used to just come round because he was like a neighbor, and
okay,
used to sort of talk to him about music and jam with him and stuff, and then get him to come to his gigs. And there
uh,
was this incredible community kind of self-teaching. It wasn't all jazz wasn't taught in colleges. It was taught in this through this organic community.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a bit where he describes how many really famous jazz musicians all live on the same street in New York in
Wow.
like '62. I'll put it on the screen because it's amazing, you know. Um,
That's really cool. Yeah, I love that vibe. I've been trying to think about that a little bit more, trying to like hook up with people and do more playing and stuff like that because it's something that I've not really done too much. And like being in Glasgow, there's so many musicians kicking around, and it can be quite easy just to kind of get lost in your life and the things that you do. But like to make time for that is it's great. It's a great way to like. I think I need to play with people to figure out what it is I need to practice and stuff like that. You
right.
know.
Well, there's
Yeah.
something about you know the sort of community side of musicianship and
Yeah.
the sort of
Absolutely.
organic. You know, I think there's a real healthy functioning community in the Scottish jazz scene, and the
Yeah.
relationships between the different generations is pretty good. I don't know if you agree. Um,
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's maybe a bit better. I think it's maybe improved since I was a student. It's kind of hard to tell, but
how was it playing play? How was it this thing coming in and doing playtime with? You brought in your own tunes.
yeah. Oh, it was great. I really enjoyed it, and it gave me a chance to look at some tunes that I've not looked at before, like in a while that I wrote for some other projects. So I brought in a couple of tunes that I wrote for this project called Sedna, that was commissioned by the Edinburgh Jazz Festival in 2019, and that was with Irene Yarabatsi, the singer, and Graeme Stephen was on that gig as well, James Lindsay and Matt Carmichael, and I wrote some music for that, and it was one of those gigs that we played at the jazz bar, and it was great, and we're like, oh, we'll do more, and we didn't do any more. Um,
So you
but I
now
wrote,
you sort of. I'm not. I wanted to carry on, but it's just this thing about being a drummer and then becoming a composer and a band leader. You're
yeah,
fully in that process of
yeah.
your role growing. How is that? How's that been, and how is it evolving?
Um, it's going well because I mean I usually just play side person, and I've been doing that for quite a long time. But I've always enjoyed writing music, especially coming out of college, and it's something I really enjoyed while I was studying as well, just like composing. It was quite a big part of the course as well, was the kind of composing element of it, which I think is a good thing for the course. But yeah, I got that band together in like an early incantation of Modern Vikings with I think it was just Stephen Henderson quartet at the time with Conrad.
Yeah.
We did a gig in 2018, and then we did an Isla Jazz Festival, and it was like a collaboration thing where they wanted me to collaborate with someone else with that sort of lineup. And then I chose Graeme Stephen because I think we played a couple of times. I played a wee bit with him, and I really liked his playing. And then from that gig, that was like the first gig we did, and that was in 2018, which is crazy because like a lot of the tunes that we played in that gig, we sort of we still playing now. Like the tunes are old. Like I wrote them quite a while ago. There's a couple of new ones in the album, but in 2018, what happened in 2019, I can't remember. And then it was COVID for a few years, and then I've been so
You
busy
seem
with
to spend
Fergus.
most of COVID making videos in your hot tub.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I'm doing that. I need to do another one. I need another pandemic to do that shit. But yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, I've just been so busy playing with Ferguson, which has been amazing. And so, and then I just kind of I got to a point where I was like, oh, I'd like to do more stuff again, and it's because it's nice to. It's really cool, like playing your own music with a band. It's such a great feeling. So for me, that band is just a bit of a yeah, it's just
Which
an
band?
outlet. Modern Vikings.
Yeah.
It's just an outlet for me to write music and stuff like that. And I'm trying not to take it too seriously and like going. You know, it'll be what it'll be. I'd like to do another album at the end of the year, but it's kind of a composition sort of play more music project for me. Like it's just it gives me something to write for. Like I can start writing and think about the band, and that's really fun. It's like I feel like writing is such a good way to expand what you do in the drums as well. It makes you think so differently about loads of stuff.
Do you find writing easy, or do you have to go through a certain kind of struggle to get into the headspace?
I think like everyone else, it can be easy, and then it can't. There's some tunes that I've knocked out quite quickly. There's some tunes that I've been working on. Like I maybe come up with an idea and it sits for a very long time, and then I don't know how to make it go somewhere else and develop it. And I really like the initial idea. I think it's a really strong idea, and then it's like, and then and it can be a bit of a struggle. Like, how do I make this into what it needs to be? And it can be quite tricky, but it really varies quite a lot, and it's something I've been thinking about a bit more. I mean, I think you need to sort of compose every day the same way you practice every day for these things to really develop, and that's something I'm gonna try. Yeah, ideally. I mean, it's hard because the practice is one thing, but just getting time to do that. But even if it's like 10 minutes and just sitting at the piano and trying to write anything.
I found when I was younger that I couldn't do that anyway, but when I got a commission or something and I sat down to write, I would go through between a few days and a couple of weeks of total turmoil, and I can't do this stuff.
Yeah.
And somehow I'd come out the other side of it transformed by the turmoil, and I started to realise that I needed to go through that process.
Yes.
And I think that's changed over the years, but I couldn't just sit down and write then. Because I just think everything I wrote was rubbish, and I used to think I'm a drummer, I don't know enough.
Do you
ever get that?
I definitely have that as well. Yeah, and I think there's also a wee bit of what's the word? Yeah, like not feeling like you don't know enough, because we don't spend anywhere the same amount of time thinking about harmony and scales and things. I mean, I can't really play the piano. I've got knowledge of what I need, but what you're saying about everything being shit, I think, I feel like that as well. I think I'm starting to embrace a little bit more the things that I write are, hopefully they sound like the things that I write, and do you know what I mean? Like it's and then you just sort of accept, this is just what I write, and it is what it is. And
no, I mean, I think your writing's really great, man. So like. But it's like that thing of, I don't think those negative voices really, I don't believe they ever go away for anybody. I think everybody has them, and I don't think they ever go away. Your relationship with them evolves. Absolutely,
and just being aware of them and try not to take them personally. What I was going to say, there was one thing in my mind. Yeah, like you were saying, like I think with writing as well, like. You can spend. Recently, I had a little break from some of the gigs. In August, we did a tour of the album that we did in August, and then we had a couple gigs recently with the band. And I really wanted to write some new music for it. Like, I really want to get some new stuff, and I ended up not. But I was trying so hard, and I was on the piano for hours working on stuff. And I think that's the thing with composition as well. Like, it feels like you maybe waste your time if you don't come up with something.
Yeah.
But it's not the case, like, because it's like you need to spend that time, and that's you working on your craft, and it's valuable time, even if you're not coming out with something that you're not.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Listen, the bit of this interview that's going to be in the interval is coming to an end. We're going to carry on. And the rest of it can go into the podcast, but.
Do you want me to talk about the first half? I can.
Well, I'd like you to talk about your hopes for the second half, and what do you hope's going to happen in the second half?
I remember what happened in the second half. I had a half pint of beer bought by Douglas, and Jane and Douglas, and Colin the dog came, and the audience were great, by the way. Such a nice audience.
Don't praise them too much. They'll get a big head.
Graeme might not hopefully won't mind me bringing this up. He accidentally poured a pint on my legs. So I started the second half with a bit of a soggy
wet legs.
Stinking of beer. But I'd had a half pint, and also the first half went well, and we're all feeling a bit loose. So I think the second half was quite. Hopefully, it might even be better. I can't really remember, but we'll probably feel a bit more loose and a bit more like, fuck it, we'll just go for it. So hopefully that
which
comes
sometimes
across.
Makes it better and sometimes makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We've got one comment from an audience member that's come in I wanted to read out to you before we go. I nominate Stephen Henderson for the best drumming faces I'm compiling a chart of the drummers who do the best drumming faces based on Playtime performances.
Oh, that's really nice. Maybe we could get a photo album and make a drumming face album, and that could be a cool thing to have.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I feature on the chart of favourite drumming faces. This is Caroline Finn, who was the audience member of the year 2 years ago.
Ah, yeah, I know Caroline.
Yeah, and I don't know if I feature on her chart. I probably do, but I mean, I do a lot of her.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I remember. I think I read Effortless Mastery, and it talked a bit about that kind of thing. And I went through a phase of really trying not to do any drum faces, like to try and be really calm and like.
Yeah.
But then there's a sort of forced element to that. So I guess I don't really think about it at all anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I mean, the sort of forced blank face can end
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like trying to be like that. But if you're really in the moment, it seems a bit weird that you're just like that. Like there are some drummers that are like can just that are like zen, and they're like going crazy in the moment, and it's really cool. But yeah, it doesn't
once
really
when I see Sam Rivers in the Jazz Cafe in London, and the drummer was doing a lot of kind of like.
There's a lot of tongue action.
And my sister, she reacted to it. She was
really liked it.
She really liked it.
Yeah,
she really liked it. And I found the whole transaction between the drummer and my sister uncomfortable. I don't think he was doing it for her benefit.
It depends on what the eyes were doing at that point. Like where were they fixed?
The eyes.
Yeah. If they're sort of fixed on someone.
No, they weren't. I don't think they were fixed on anybody, but I think it was totally, completely below his awareness. Well, listen.
Yeah.
Stephen Henderson, I'm going to carry on talking to you, but for the purposes of the gig interview,
yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your beautiful playing in the gig, and thank you for it's been If there's anything you'd like to say in your defence before the audience decide.
I want to thank you and thank everyone at Playtime for having me. It was a total pleasure, and I really hope to do it again. And also playing with the band, who are amazing and just like got the music together incredibly quickly and brought what they bring to all the things that they play on. It was amazing and it was really fun. It felt very easy and light and fun, and it was a really nice vibe. So thank you, and thanks to all the audience and everything.
I'm hoping that one day we have tried, but we'll be able to do it together. So that's one of the.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
One of the plans, but it's just never worked out so far.